Welcome to the Topsail Insider Podcast, where you can hear all about the businesses and events in the beautiful coastal towns of the greater Topsail area of North Carolina. Coming up, get ready for a really fun conversation with Miss Annette Ernie. She's the founder of the Real Housewives of Topsail Island. It's a nonprofit that raises money for women who are battling breast cancer and their families. Stick around. Experience a new level of luxury on Topsail Island at Saltwater Suites in Surf City, North Carolina. With no nightly minimum, you can enjoy short getaways or an extended stay. Each suite features luxury bedding, full kitchens with dining tables and dishwashers. And all suites other than the 3 ADA suites have full-size washers and dryers. And don't forget about those beautiful ocean views. 24/7 self-check-in provides a hassle-free and seamless experience. Saltwater Suites is the perfect choice for your next beach getaway. Book your next Topsail visit at saltwatertopsail.com or call 910-886-4818. Saltwater Suites, Topsail Island's premier luxury hospitality experience. Welcome, everyone, to the Topsail Insider Podcast. My name is Christa, and I am your host. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Annette Ernie. She is the founder of the Real Housewives of Topsail Island, and that is a real with a R-E-E-L, and I love the name so much. How are you doing, Annette?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me today.
I just love what your organization does.
Thank you.
And I want more people to know about it. It's very popular already as it is. Listeners, I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation because Annette is so easy to talk to. And I loved my phone conversation. If I could have recorded that, I would have published that.
It would have been perfect.
But we're going to do it again right here for the listeners.
Let's do it.
So tell me how you came up with that awesome name.
It actually started out back in the day. Everybody was watching The Real Housewives.
I still do.
And me too. And it was actually funny to me. To begin with, it was all a bunch of entrepreneurs, women volunteering in their community, trying to make their communities better. Mm-hmm. So when I started this venture, I thought, this is it, Real Housewives of Topsail Island. Even though I didn't want to copy them per se, so I decided I would spell it like R-E-E-L because Surf City, back in the day when I moved here over 30 years ago, was a small fishing village,
town.
right?
Yeah.
And so I thought, I will put that together and I'll see what I can come up with. So Real Housewives of Topsail Island stuck.
So clever.
Yeah.
I really love it.
I love it too.
You mentioned in that phone interview, reeling in the family. We come here, we vacation, we hang out together, and you're just reeling people in.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely. So many people who want to get involved that love to get reeled in by the Real Housewives of Topsail Island.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about what it is that the Real Housewives organization does.
Okay. What we actually do is we ride bicycles for families who are going through breast cancer. Starting at the south end of the island, we would ride our bicycles 26.2 miles. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, we'll do this get the athletes involved as well. We decided we'd start raising money for families who are going through breast cancer. The sad thing about breast cancer is it is really hot demon, I guess you could say. Some people can shake it and some people absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
There's some people who hang on to this for 10 years. Some of them who unfortunately don't come out of it all. So what we decided to do was make it accessible for them to have financial help right now. Mm-hmm. And so my goal was to help these families pay their rent, pay their mortgage, get Christmas for their children, whatever they needed that money for right now, because there are so many families who actually lose their homes and lose everything because of this disease. So we just thought we can help them today.
I love it.
Yes.
So tell me how it all got started.
I can honestly say it was a godsend for me. God literally laid this on my heart. I was sitting there one day and obviously, I know a lot of people, and I have the gift for gab. Even when I was growing up, my mother used to say all the time, oh my gosh, your phone rings all the time. And I'm like, everybody wants to know what we're doing this weekend. So they came up with this thing, telephone, telegraph, telenet.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I get the word out about everything that's happening.
Say it again.
A telephone, telegraph, and telenet.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I do. I love to share everything that I enjoy. But anyway, this was laid on my heart out of the blue. Mm-hmm. about my gift for gab and what I could do to give back. And God tugged on my heart and kept tugging on my heart. And I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you, but I don't hear you. What do you want me to do here? But I had told several of my girlfriends that I really wanted to ride my bicycle down the island because we all go up and down this island all the time, but we actually don't stop just to look at the beauty that God gives us every day on this island. So I thought if we ride our bicycle, we'll take our time and we can see everything closer to the ground, not quite as fast. So that's how it all began. And
Just talking with your girlfriends.
just talking to my girlfriends. So we decided, okay, let's do this ride. The next thing I knew, 42 people said, we're in. And we weren't even asking anybody. We were just telling them what we were doing. About 42 people decided that they would ride with us. And somebody spoke up that day and said, hey, why don't we do this for somebody on the island? So I said, that's perfect. So I actually put it out on Facebook and said, does anybody know anyone who needs some help? And so I got so many responses with a girl's name. Her name was Renee Callahan. And I called Renee, and she was a single mother. She was in dentistry, just like me, as a dental assistant. And I said, Renee, you don't know me, but my name is Annette Ernie, and I'm the founder of the Real Housewives of Topsail Island. And I said, I want to make this ride all about you that day. How do you feel about it? And of course, Renee broke down and cried and cried. We decided we would get everybody who was riding a bicycle to donate $20, right? A number of people had heard about this event, and the end of this event was going to be held at Sears Landing. Hap Alexander used to open his doors for us all the time at Sears Landing and just say, come on in, you can have your meetings here. We did. And so we rode our bicycles that day, 26.2 miles, and we came back to Sears Landing. And when we got to Sears Landing, we were so excited because so many people from our community came just to see if we completed the ride, I'm sure. But they were also willing to give. And Renee Callahan and her son Jeffrey came, and we ended up raising $2,800 for them on that day. On the first ride, and to be honest with you, I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. That was awesome. And shortly after that, another friend, Rhonda Jones, was diagnosed with cancer. So we thought, okay, let's do this again. So we rode probably 6 to 8 months later, we did it again.
Okay.
And we raised $8,000 that day.
Oh my gosh, that's a big jump.
Big jump. And God bless Rhonda. We lost Rhonda to her battle of cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I am too. And we just miss her so much. She was such an inspiration to this island. But we raised $8,000. So then we thought, okay, we can't do this every month.
Yeah.
We just need to start doing something once a year and just make it a huge event. So that's what we did. We have been blessed by this community to the nth degree. It is not one business owner has ever told me no about having an event at their establishment. Shuck and Shack, Gilligan's, there's nobody who's ever said, no, you can't have a sign up here. We do 4 registrations before each ride.
I saw that. Yeah.
Which gives a lot of the businesses, number one, we wanted to make sure our businesses were taken care of after the season.
Oh, yeah.
So we always try to do something after the season's over so they can stay running and working all year long.
Nice.
Yes.
Very good idea.
Of course, now they're busy all year long.
Things have changed around here a little bit in that regard.
Changed dramatically. They have. So we do 4 registrations, and it's been very successful. Each establishment always hires live entertainment, so it keeps all of our people there all day long. We sell all of our swag that day.
This is the registrations.
All the registrations, yes. We do that probably about a month out before the bike ride.
Should we go ahead and talk about those?
Sure, let's talk about them. Absolutely.
Okay.
So this year, starting August 26th, Surf City Line is going to do the kickoff for us.
Okay.
So we'll have registration from 1 o'clock until 4. Then on September 9th, Beach Bums Pizza and Grill. That is actually at the north end of the island.
Right.
They'll be doing their kickoff too at 1 to 4. September 23rd is the Trailer Bar, who has been there from day one. And then September 30th, the Shuck and Shack.
Okay.
And they're all from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock.
All right.
And just so you know, every establishment always has live entertainment for us. They also have their restaurants and bars open. So that's our way of giving back to them. So people who do come and register usually hang out and listen to some great music, have cocktails, have food, and just enjoy a day of celebration.
I love it. That's so great.
It is great.
So let's go to that annual bike ride that you're having. This year, it happens to be on Saturday, October 7th.
Yep.
It's the first Saturday of every October? Is that how you plan that?
We used to do it in April, actually.
Oh, okay.
But COVID changed things for us.
Yeah.
And so then the town actually told us what was available after COVID restrictions were lifted. Mm-hmm. And so October was perfect because it's actually Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh.
We're going to stick with October forever. It's usually the first Saturday in October.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about that bike ride. Where does it start? What's the route? Where does it go? What time? All those good things.
We do a beautiful opening ceremony, and this is to honor all of our survivors and their families because breast cancer is a family disease. So we get everybody in the circles. We have all of our survivors come and their families, and we all hold hands around them. And we usually have our mayor say a prayer for everybody that day to thank their family members and to pray around them all. The bike ride actually starts at 9 o'clock. The opening ceremony starts at 8. We leave Soundside Park at 9 o'clock. We ride down to the St. Regis, turn around, and come all the way back.
Okay.
And there's numerous businesses that sponsor water stops all the way down the island. So you can never get thirsty, that's for sure.
All right, I got a real question right here. As someone who is not very active, how hard is that ride?
I've ridden every ride, and I'm 63. I'll be 63, so I've ridden every single ride. And there's days that it's pouring down rain. There's days that the wind shifts and it turns on you. And even like the morning of the bike ride, my phone usually starts blowing up at 6 o'clock in the morning if it's raining, which it has rained tons of times.
Really?
Yeah. And everybody's, hey, Annette, are we riding today? And I'm like, did breast cancer stop or something? Because these girls never get a break. So I think a little bit of rain is fine with us today.
I love that.
So we have never stopped a bike ride. So we have had to stop before because lightning and thunder has been so bad that we were like, okay, we better take cover for a minute. Yeah. But we always complete that ride. Okay. And I tell people all the time, they ask me, Annette, what if I don't complete the ride? I said, I don't care. I got your money. And that's all those women need is somebody, we need your money so we can help these families.
All right, that makes me feel a little bit better. Like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wow, that sounds like a really long ride.
It is a long ride, but my granddaughter started this journey with me when she was probably 8, and she is now 14, and she has ridden that ride. But I'll never forget one day we were on our way back, and her dad, my son Kane, is a logistics guy. Okay. So he has his crew, which my husband started with Lighthouse Marine Construction from the very beginning, and they are always on the road in case anybody breaks down or if they need to go back or if they just need to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Or if they have a flat tire. So they always pick everybody up who needs help or assistance. So there is somebody out there to help them at all times. But my granddaughter was pedaling. She's like, Gigi, how much further? And I was like, see that yellow house way up there? And she'd say, yeah. And I was like, it's further than that. She said, Kana, it's okay. I said, your dad is right behind us. You can get in his truck at any time. And she'd turn around and see him and she'd just pedal even harder. Not trying to, no, she was not giving up. So she never gave up.
Did she make it all the way through? How about that?
Every single time. And her little legs, they were so worn out. Kane said that she was asleep by the time they got home.
Baby girl.
Yeah, sweet baby girl. But our bike ride does start at 9 o'clock. And it usually takes us probably 2 to 3 hours to ride that ride if people are stopping and talking. And I tell everybody all the time, this is not a race. This is a ride to enjoy the beauty that God really puts around us that we take for granted every day. That beautiful ocean, the intercoastal, so pretty. And you get to see all of that as you're riding. Then we finish up the ride. And this year, JM's on the water is toasting lunch for everybody. And then we do a live auction and we do a silent auction. Now, my live auction is just wild. It becomes a bidding war, and it's hysterical. It's hysterical. We have Gail Brent and Dale Pollard were the funniest two that I've ever seen at our event. They get into bidding wars. Yeah. As last year, Andy Darden and his wife Leslie, they own Darden Farms in Clinton. So anyway, they were here, and one of my lovely girlfriends, Tiffany, her mother passed with breast cancer. So Tiffany is one of my big supporters, and I just adore her. But Tiffany and Andy got into this bidding war on this tiki tour, and it went on and on. And finally, the bid got up to $8,000, and
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think the Tiki Tour usually is like $500 a night. It went up to $8,000.
So Tiki Tours donates a tour for this live auction?
They have donated a tour for us for the last couple of years, and it has brought in so much money for the Real Housewives.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. But the year before last, the Dardens actually bought it, and I think they paid a couple $1,000s for it. This year, a friend of mine, Tiffany, who's, like I said, her mother had passed from breast cancer, and this is very near and dear to her heart. She was like not seeing exactly who was bidding, and we're all best of friends. She's sitting there bidding, and Andy Darden is over there just raising his hand.
Oh, that's funny.
Nobody knew who was actually bidding.
Yeah.
I'm up the front with our auctioneer, and I finally walk over to Tiffany, and I said, Tiffany, you're bidding against us. Because our whole group had gone last year. So the Dardens had won it last year. And so we did a theme party. So last year we did a theme party, and we did a 70s party.
Cute.
So all of us dressed up like the 70s, and there was a group of 40 of us, if I'm not mistaken. And my husband, Daryl, sings in a band, and Ernie McAllister is also a performer on the island. So they were our entertainment on the Tiki Tour, which was fantastic. So we had a big party going on, and everybody was dressed like the 70s, and it was hysterical.
So how big is this Tiki Tour boat that you guys can all get 40 people on there?
It fits 42 people.
That's incredible. I did not know that their boats were that large.
Oh, they go up and down the island all day long. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go set up an interview with them.
You really should.
Yeah.
But I have to say, that's just one of the many things that we get donated. That Tiki Tour was outstanding. But I've had paintings. Jeff Wetzel, who is now the mayor in Holly Ridge, donated one of his prints. As a matter of fact, that's one of them.
Right there.
Yes. And he sold that for $750. And at my event, I think it went for $5,000.
That's incredible.
And then Jeff was holding the picture, and he was like, and there was two people, and it was, again, Dale Pollard and Gail Brent bidding against this. And Jeff said, let's do another. I'll give another one. And you guys both pay the same. Everybody on this entire island, they're just all wanting to give back. Everybody can't give that kind of money.
Yeah.
But everybody shows up every year, and they give from their heart.
I'm really learning as I do these interviews and I hear about the way that the businesses are giving back to the community. It's a really beautiful thing. And I was not fully aware of how generous the businesses around here are.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to learn.
We absolutely could not do it at all without our community. There's no way. And with our business partners on this island, they have never said no to us for anything.
Yeah, I love hearing that about where I live.
Yeah. And it's so funny because we were all it's called the Ladies Connect in Hampstead. And what it is, it's a group of women that the chamber put together, and any woman can join. They're all entrepreneurs, and they all just help each other with any kind of business direction that they need. So it's a great little event. But today I stood up and I talked about the Real Housewives for a minute, introducing myself. And I had two ladies afterwards come up and say, we're new to the area, but we definitely want to be one of your sponsors this year.
Nice.
Because as big as this island has grown, I can only imagine what it is going to be like on October 7th to see how many people show up and show out and give back and just come together as a community. Honestly, this little island just shines all the time. I don't think there's anybody who has ever just said, we're not sponsoring this year. They're like, oh no, we're in and we're upping our sponsor this year.
That's great.
Because they know exactly what the money goes for. I have a group of women who sit on my board. I could not do it without these ladies. I handpicked every single one of these ladies because I trust them with everything. And I have to say, they are all such leaders in this community. Everybody else in this community trusts them with everything that we do. I have Debbie Pikowski. She has been on my board ever since I started. Susan Billett, Renee Rose, Neely Williams, Stacy Justice, Desi McAllister, and myself. And we did have one lovely lady. Her name was Kelly DeRose, and she sat on our board, and she died with breast cancer.
No.
Yes.
And y'all don't get paid, do you?
Yeah, no. we're all volunteers. We work on this diligently. I mean, we're always trying to find ways to better ourselves, to see what we can do differently, and just to see if we can make this event the best there is.
Tell me about your planning process with these ladies as you guys are leading up to the ride.
Of course, as leading up to the ride, we're out looking for sponsors. We're looking for donations. We go around to all the businesses and ask them what they would like to donate, and so we can put it on the auction. We either do smaller items that are on our auction tables, or we do the big auction items that are live auctions. But we go around also, we all talk to everybody about our sponsorships, which is $100 up to $5,000. And we've never had a $5,000 sponsorship until last year.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I had 2 last year and I have 2 this year so far.
Oh, wow.
And somebody else told me today they thought they were going to do a $5,000 because, as you know, it's all tax deductible.
Right.
And it all goes to an awesome cause. So people are willing to pay it and we're willing to give it out.
So let's talk about the sponsorship packages a little bit. Can you break that down a little bit for me?
So we have a silver sponsor, and that's $100. You get 1 rider, they get a T-shirt, and they have lunch that day. The $300 gives you 3 riders, T-shirts, and lunch as well for all 3. The platinum is $500, 5 riders. Then you get the diamond for $1,000. You get 10 riders. And, of course, they get their T-shirts and their lunches as well. And, of course, we have the Diamond Plus, which is the $5,000. They get 20 bike riders. And, of course, the more you donate, the bigger your lettering is on the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. You were saying that first year you raised $2,800.
$2,800, and that was my first year. And
what are you up to now?
Last year we had 716 registered riders, and we raised $170,000. Amazing!
Oh my gosh!
I know, right? And we praise God for that because I can't say it enough. It's this community. They give and they give.
That's a big deal. $170,000.
It is. It is. When you start thinking about it, I would say on an average, at least 2 women a month. Now, there's months that'll go by that I don't have anybody, and all I do is thank God for that. But then all of a sudden, there's 4 women has contacted us, and I can say this 100%. Most of the time, women who have breast cancer, they never contact us. It's always a friend who tells us about them, because the thing about these women are they don't ever want anybody to know that they're sad or they're disappointed. Or they fight so hard to protect their families. The only thing our survivors care about is making sure their family lives don't change.
Yeah.
So that's where we step in, and to make sure financially it doesn't have to change so much, because that is a burden for a mother.
Yeah.
We started out, like I said, it was $2,800. We gave it to 1 girl. Then we did the $8,000 thing. And then we thought we were going to do it once and be done. One and done. I'm like, Lord, yes, I can do that for you. I'm here to serve. And here we sit years later. We did have to skip a ride during COVID. But I have to tell you, even though we had to skip that year, our money still came in. We still raised $150,000 during COVID.
There was no bike ride.
No bike ride at all, but the people did not care.
That's amazing.
They did not care. Even people who had registered, because our registration stays open for a long time, the people who registered, they were like, none of them asked for their money back. They were all there for the right reason, and that's what makes it so successful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Have people already started registering?
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm going to register as soon as we finish this podcast.
And you can register. You can do your sponsorship online, www.realhousewifesoftopsailisland.com. You can also register for you to ride that day. It will ask you the size of your shirt and all that good stuff, too, so you can make sure you pick your shirts up as well.
Tell me about the shirts. Is there a design?
There is a design, and we've used this design throughout our entire time, and all the girls are like, let's change the design. I'm like, we can't. That's our logo. We can't change them, because what it is actually, there's 6 women on the front of it. Is it 6 or 7? There's 7 of us, I think, on there. And the middle, just like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
We're in the little V.
And what are you holding in your hand?
We're holding a fish and a fishing pole. And we have on our Sneeze Fairy sneakers.
Oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing.
Gets,
I love it.
But of course, now I have to say, all my girls are just as prissy as they can be. So, and all of them, we all have on our jewelry and our earrings and all that. But we do have on our Sneeze Fairy sneakers and our fishing rods in our hands.
That's so cute. I can't wait to see it. So tell me about the riders. Where are they? All locals?
Honestly, I would say most of them are from Surf City, but we do have a lot of people who vacation here just for this ride. They will call and say, when is your next ride? Or even before we leave that day, have you set your date for next year? Because they come to vacation during this time.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But we do have riders who come from Wilmington. I have some who come from Florida, believe it or not. Virginia. We have a lot of Virginians who come. But I would have to say mostly local from Hampstead, Surf City, Sneeze Ferry, Holly Ridge. Most of us are local.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. We also have a great group of friends who own bars and restaurants. We've had numerous of them contact us and said, hey, we're going to do a pink cocktail. I'm like, I love that. If you go to Beauchange, they have a specialty. Their drink is pink. They give back to the Real Housewives. So does the Surf City line, the Crab Pot, and Low Tide. And if you look at their menus, they're all on there. And I have been.
And it mentions the Real Housewives?
It does. And they're the Real Housewives cocktails.
I love it.
And it says on there, proceeds go to the Real Housewives.
Nice.
I was in there having dinner one night. My husband and I eat there quite often.
Where? Which
at
one?
Low Tide.
Okay.
And I heard this girl say, I'll have a Real Housewife, but what is a Real Housewife? And Trey and Christa, the owners, said, there she is right there.
Oh, that's funny.
So they came up and talked to me a little bit about the Real Housewives, and I told them exactly what we did. So I think they ended up ordering 4 or 5 more drinks just for the Real Housewives to give
It
back.
was good that you were there.
Absolutely. But they're so good to me. They give me additional money after their sponsorships. And when I say sponsorships, they're all at least $1,000 sponsorship.
Okay.
And so then throughout the year, as they want to distribute, they'll call me up and say, hey, we got a check for your cocktails. Come by and pick up a check. So they keep us going even when something's not going on, when the ride's not happening.
That's so nice.
I have so many businesses who will just send a check. Richard Stroop, one of them, Saltwater Suites, sent me a nice big old check and said, you know, kind of thing. He and I had a conversation last week. He is given a 10% discount for anybody who's staying in his suites that weekend.
Okay.
So he's giving them the discount for
Nice.
coming and supporting the Real Housewives. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so nice.
Absolutely.
I just did an interview with Richard Stroop, and I told him I had a phone conversation with you.
Yeah.
And he's created a foundation that gives back to the community as well. That's what I mean. I love hearing about all these businesses that are doing this kind of stuff.
There is some good nonprofits in this community, and it is all about taking care of each other. All the businesses, like I said, they're always trying to find something great to give back. Sears Landing, my friend Ray, I just love Ray Ray. We call him Ray Ray because we love him so dearly. He got Budweiser, who is a friend of mine, Jane Jeffries. Her family owned Budweiser. And he contacted them and said, hey, is there anything you can donate to the Real Housewives? So she brought us a bike. It was a dilly bike.
What is a dilly bike?
Well, it was really nothing but a bicycle with just dilly written on it. So Ray got on there and he started adding things to it, putting stickers on it, the Real Housewife stuff, just made it so darn cute. That bicycle sold for $5,000.
Oh my gosh.
Then they were like, donate it back. They donated that bicycle 3 times. It brought in $15,000.
Oh my gosh. How nice is that?
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing happened one year. We were at the trailer bar doing our auction again. It went for $5,000. The guy said, give it back. It happens all the time. And then we get to redo it. So normally people say, I'm back up at 5,000. We stopped there. Let's go again. So it's always just the craziest stories. I have a jeweler here, Tommy J, and he designed the Real Housewives bracelet. And so one of our board members, Susan Billett, she's like, man, I want that. And I was like, yeah, girl, you can get this. This is all about us. And so
Let me see that thing.
I know. She started bidding on this bracelet.
Oh, I love it. That's a great design.
Isn't it though?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, she started bidding on this bracelet. The next thing we know, some guy's like outbidding her like crazy. And
it was just a one of a kind.
it wasn't a one of a kind, but it was one that was there that day.
Oh, okay.
But Susan was willing to pay more just to give back to the Real Housewives.
Sure.
Our friend, and it was Andy Thornton who was doing this, who is a big donor as well. He's like outbidding. I think he got this bracelet up to $700, and everybody finally walked away. He got this bracelet and walked up to Susan Billett and put it on her arm.
That is the sweetest thing.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm telling you.
I'm blown away by the generosity that I'm hearing about.
I could go on for days about the generosity of people in this community and the love that they share and the things they just do for each other that you would not have normally happen in a town. It's kind of, I'm scared about all the growth because I want to keep it so personal because it's been so good. But then I see the growth and I see those two women who came up to me today who want a sponsor. So I keep thinking, you know what? Maybe God brought them here to us as well.
I think we have a core group of people who are long timers and they've been here and they're doing these wonderful things. The new people are coming in, are looking, they're new, they're trying to figure out the culture here, they're trying to open businesses.
Absolutely.
And they're looking to the long timers for guidance. And I think you're setting an example, and I think they're following that example.
And I think they also want to get involved.
Yeah,
I think
they
they
do.
probably left big cities and they just didn't get involved because they didn't have that community feeling. And I think when you're in Surf City, it is nothing but the feeling of great community.
I think the small town vibe is still very much here and alive, and I think that's what draws people here.
I agree.
I hope it doesn't change.
I
don't think it
never
will.
changes. I'm going to see to it.
In our phone conversation, you were mentioning about a lawyer that really helped you out. I want the listeners to hear. Can you tell me more?
Absolutely. So again, strong in my faith. And I was sitting around one day and I was like, Lord, I know what you're asking me to do. I don't know how to do it. And I financially certainly can't afford to do this. So how do I become a nonprofit? I mean, give me a sign because it's expensive. It's very time consuming to become a 501c3. And so I was sitting there praying one day and I was asked, Lord, how do you expect me to do this? I know there's a way, but how do I do it? Lo and behold, a couple of days later, my phone rang. It was Dan Rizzo. Dan was an attorney here in Surf City. He is now retired, but he called me. He said, Annette, hey, I understand what you're trying to do in this community. Is there something I can help you with? And I said, Dan, honestly, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get my 501c3. I don't know how to do any of this. And he said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will do your legalities free for the lifetime of the Real Housewives, as long as you continue your work. He and I became very close friends, and he was just a super guy. And then he sold his practice to a girl named Kathy Blackburn, and I adore Kathy. She sits on the chamber with us. And so now Kathy's always, whatever you need, let me know.
Okay.
I will do everything the same as Dan always did.
How about that?
How about that? And I have one gift this year that was donated by Kathy Blackburn. It is a 3-seater. It looks like a golf cart, except for you have to pedal it. It is the cutest thing. I know it's going to bring a ton of money, too. And Kathy literally bought 2 of them when she bought them because she bought one for her family and one for the Real Housewives.
Now, is she going to be riding that in the bike? Because I think that would be a little hard.
And that would be very hard unless the other people are pedaling as hard as you are.
Yeah, a good strong team.
Yeah. First place winners, right?
Yeah.
We had Rocky from 50 South donated an e-bike last year, which e-bikes are allowed to ride in this ride. Yes.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yes, you sure do.
I'll make it then. I'll be able to complete it.
Makes things a little bit easier.
So you do allow the e-bikes?
We just started allowing the e-bikes because everybody's got it. It's the newest, latest, greatest, right?
Okay.
For probably 10 years, we were like,
that's cheating.
No, that's cheating. Now, the older I get, it's okay.
Maybe it's not cheating
Maybe it's
anymore.
not cheating anymore. I think it comes with age, if the truth be known.
That's funny. Okay, there's a vendor around here that rents those e-bikes.
Yes, there is.
Get my order
it
in
would
early.
Be Herring Sports or either 50 South, either one of them.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think it would be 50 South. Rocky Godwin.
Rocky Godwin
And
at
his
50
wife
South.
is a survivor.
Oh,
As a matter of
really?
fact, Lisa, a fabulous retired teacher as of this year. But yeah, she's done wonderful things too.
If they are not already
You better get your name on the list.
Say, I want one on October 7th.
I have to tell you, everybody starts reserving their bikes. Herrings, as a matter of fact, and Rocky, the same, have never charged anybody to ride those bikes.
You're kidding me.
No, they're like, just give the money to the Real Housewives. Yeah, because Steve's wife and Rocky's wife are both survivors.
You're kidding.
No.
All right.
No. It's just crazy how all of this all goes hand in hand.
It's incredible.
It really is incredible.
The live entertainment that day at JM's?
Yes.
Do you know who that's going to be?
It is my husband's band,
Oh.
Fried on the Boat.
Fried on the Boat.
Fried on the Boat. And they are one of the, I would have to say, A lot of the locals follow them. They are fantastic. They've been playing, and not necessarily all together, but my husband has been playing for over 30 years on the island, Daryl, and his group, they're rock stars.
Fried on the boat.
FRYD, baby. Fried on the boat.
I can't wait to hear them.
But I have to say, they have been so good. Like every other year, they have played at every registration for free. And they even play the day of the bike ride. That's their donation.
Very cool.
Yep. And I have another guy, his name is Timmy Biggs. He's an artist as well. And he plays the guitar and sings. And he gets all the band members to donate at least $1,000 so they can put their name on the T-shirt under $1,000. Yeah, and he's not going to take no for an answer either.
Wow, you've got a good support team behind you on this.
I have a great support team. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And my doctor I work for, Dr. Olmstead, he's like, do what you need to do.
That's Topsail Dental?
Yep. And I'm the ambassador of Topsail Dental.
Nice.
And so my job, literally my real job, is to go back and give back to the community. Steve.
Through Topsail Dental.
Topsail Dental.
How about that?
He pays me my salary to do just that. He said, you've done it all these years without ever getting paid. I'm going to pay you to do this because he works. And he's like, I can pay you to do this for me.
That's so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so blessed to work with Topsail Dental. They are phenomenal.
My family goes there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. I've had a blast talking to you.
Likewise. Me too.
You're such a pleasure to speak with. And I love how easy it is to talk to you.
For me, it's so easy to talk about because I love doing all of this. But I have to say I have been blessed beyond through all of this. There's days that it's so hectic and it's so tiring and it's so long. But then you look back and you get those phone calls from those women and you get these cards in the mail that are just like, you don't even know what you did for my family.
When you do hear back from the women,
oh my God,
you're touching them in such an amazing way, but they're touching your heart as well. It's got to feel really good when you know that you're helping someone that needs this kind of help.
It does your heart so good. And then every time you see them, and there's women, trust me, there's hundreds of women I haven't ever even laid my eyes on, but there's so many who will come up and introduce themselves and say, you helped me, you helped my family, and you will never know what it meant to me. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it is, I don't know if it's more of a blessing to them or more of a blessing to us because when you see everything come together and it all works out and you're doing what God wanted us to do.
Right.
And that is simply to take care of each other. And that's what we do.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I always like to finish up with my final thoughts.
Okay.
So is there something that you want to leave the listeners with that's just the one thing you want them to know about the Real Housewives of Topsail Island or just you, Annette Ernie?
I'd just like for you to know that we value what you give to us. And we don't just throw your money away. We literally take care of every woman and every family that asks for our help. We do our background checks on all of them. I contact every doctor to confirm that this patient really is being diagnosed with breast cancer. We don't throw your money around lightly. We respect your money and we know you work hard for it. Our team is working so hard to make sure that we take care of everything that you give us. These families are so thankful and so blessed, and you may not know them, but they know about you because I talk about our community so much to our survivors and their families, even to our ones in memory of. We have lost so many women to breast cancer, but their families always, it's just, I have gotten recently 2 messages from 2 husbands that said, I lost my wife, but I wanted you to know how much it meant to us. And I think that's the thing that baffles me because you don't have many men reach out to an organization that helped them. Sometimes they're like, it goes in one ear and out the other because they're so wrapped up in losing their wife and their spouse and everything. But they always make a point to let me know what's going on and how much they really appreciated us. So I think the one thing I would leave here with all of our viewers are please continue to give. Cancer does not stop. We're not going to stop. We're going to use your money the way it needs to be used respectfully and take care of our local people right here in Surf City.
Perfect. Okay, so let's give out the contact information for the Real Housewives of Topsail Island.
Absolutely. You can find us on our website at www.realhousewivesofTopsailIsland.com. Again, REEL.
Right.
Also, if you'd like to mail us a check or donation, it's P.O. Box 2067, and that is Surf City, North Carolina, 28445. If you would like for me to pick up a sponsorship or if you need me to pick up your donation, my phone number is 910-228-9960. I know that sounds real hands-on, and it is real hands-on, but I will drive and come and pick up your donations or your sponsorships.
Nice.
Yes.
And you're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
I am.
All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. I want to thank you, Annette, for doing this with me.
It was so much fun.
So much fun.
Yes.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in today for another episode of Topsail Insider. And go ahead and check out Real Housewives of Topsail Island.
Woohoo!
Hey, thank you for joining me today on Topsail Insider. If you liked today's episode, please hit the follow or subscribe button so that you can get the Topsail Insider podcast delivered automatically to whichever podcast platform you're listening on. And if you're a business owner and you wish to set up a pre-interview or you want to advertise, please email me at topsailinsider@gmail.com. Please also find and like the Topsail Insider Facebook page. I provide links to the new podcast there each week, as well as providing photos of the businesses that I'm highlighting, along with any of their upcoming events. So hey, let's do this again next week. I'll see you around Topsail.